All right, so here's part two of the professional etiquette lecture for on-site PPEs. Okay, so first slide here is making a positive first impression. So while I know Sammy won't be making any handshakes, probably Tal will, and so make sure that you develop your professional handshake. You know, firm and and professional in how you do that. And so the other thing is for both of you would be to learn how to make introductions and how to introduce yourself to those you don't know. um, I tell students to sometimes develop, you know, a short elevator pitch that just introduces you to individuals. You know, especially I'm thinking, obviously, Tao, when you're meeting people in person, and Sammy, when you come online, they may have you introduce yourself at the beginning of meetings. So having kind of that standard introduction prepared in advance is helpful. All right. And so these are all really important first impressions, okay? And or things that make good first impressions. All right. Next here, lose the lingo. I think I talked about this before in that we want to, you know, not use phrases like "Hey, cool" or "That's awesome" or "like" and stuff from your vocabulary. Again, that's probably more relevant to our on-site or sorry, undergrad traditional students that are on campus, but we just want to mention that. And make sure that you also just pay attention to the type of language that's used around you. That might help you in terms of speaking professionally to your coworkers. Definitely make sure that you are watching your spelling and of course language again in any emails that you're sending. Again, no slang, avoid capital words and bold type and red colors. Because that sometimes can convey the wrong message to your mentor or to whoever it is that you're reaching out to. Now, notice I do have a couple of videos here hyperlinked. You feel free to watch those. I do have the PowerPoint slides uploaded, but I feel like I'm kind of hitting on most of the things that I want you to see and to be aware of. And then lastly here, respond to emails in a timely manner. You know, making sure that you're getting back to people quickly is important. Be a self-starter. This probably applies more to Tao, just that she'll be physically on site. But here's just an example, you know, that, you know, maybe your mentor, uh, you know, is asking you to review policies and you get done way earlier than what maybe she thought it would take. And so what do you do with your time, right? And so it's important to always be, you know, looking for things to do to keep yourself busy, whether that's working on your project or just kind of reaching out to other people in the department to see what you can do to help them or meet with other people is always a good thing. Okay. All right. Networking is also extremely important because the HIM professional profession, even though AHIMA is this huge organization, people are very well connected. And so many of the times, students and alumni get positions because of somebody they know, right? And so networking is extremely important. Making that positive impression on every staff member that you encounter. Remember, you don't want to burn bridges, right? And so making a positive impression on really everybody that you meet with is important. They're going to remember you because of your positive impression and not because maybe you did something kind of silly. um, as I said before, making sure that you're saying good morning and using those common courtesies. Definitely try to mingle with the department staff and show an interest in getting to know them, right? They all kind of build your and can make up your circle of influence. The meaning like the people that you surround yourself with is kind of who you are, other people associate you with, right? So making sure that you're around people that are also professional and conveying those professional qualities that you want to mimic. Dress the part. And so You know what, I'm gonna not really dive too deep into this because I'm honestly not too worried about it, because I think that the most important thing is Sammy, you know, when you're online, look professional, make sure you have a nice top on, do your hair, all of those kinds of things. And then of course, Tao, when you're on site, make sure you're following their dress code. And it's okay to ask what their dress code is, you know, um, if it's business casual, business professional. We do sometimes ask students to wear business professional in that first day of your PPE. You know, if you want to make a really great impression and you want to um, you know, kind of wow them right from the start, which I always encourage students. I think it's a great idea. You know, wearing a suit or a nice um, pantsuit is really a nice thing, right? Make sure that too, you know, that you are wearing closed-toed shoes with a heel. Um, you know, just from a infection control standpoint, a lot of organizations and healthcare organizations have guidelines around that. So otherwise, I think most of the departments that you guys are going to be in are business casual, but it never hurts to ask, right? There are some guidelines I have here. Some of these things, I mean, some of these things obviously go without saying. I did want to point out, make sure that you don't wear perfume, okay? Because so many of healthcare organizations are scent free. You never know when a patient or somebody might have a sensitivity to that, okay? All right. Not so much for Sammy, but Tao. We decided not to get you a CSS name badge because we know that Parkland is going to provide you with a name badge. So just make sure that you have that name badge on you, you know, whenever you're at the PPE site. All right. Lastly, I love this video here that's hyperlinked, and I would encourage you to watch it. But lastly, I would just encourage you both to send thank you notes to people. Okay. You know, Sammy, it might be much easier for you to send them via email, but Tao, I would really encourage you to send thank you notes via snail mail, okay? Handwritten notes, or even just giving them to the administrative assistant to deliver to people is really a nice touch, okay? People don't write a lot of thank you notes anymore, and I think that it's something to be remembered by. I know that when students give me thank you notes, a lot of times they're still up on my, you know, my bulletin board. I like remembering the experience I had with them or whatever it was. And so take some time and make sure that you're sending thank you notes within a week, you know, just thanking them for their time and sharing their knowledge with you and answering your questions. It goes far. And I would say, especially for those people that you might, you know, want to work for someday, right? Okay. And then lastly, here, be a good ambassador for the College of St. Scholastica, obviously the Department of Health Informatics and Information Management. Your behavior on your PPE can affect the PPE site's willingness to host our students in the future. Okay. While I'm not worried about either of you, just something to kind of keep in the back of your mind, right? um, Again, you know, treating it like it's one big job interview, I think goes really far and kind of gives you the perspective of what we're looking for from you as a student. Okay. All right. And if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to me, and I'm happy to answer them anytime. Okay. Thank you.